All right, today we're in the shop. We've got Valkyrie, our 2018 JL. And after our adventures on the Georgia Adventure Trail and the Georgia Traverse, we were getting some oil spilling over into our air intake system. Not good. So to fix that, today we have our Billet Oil Catch Can System from UPR Products. We're going to put it in. I'll show you how we do it. All right, so this is the new UPR Signature Series Billet Catch Can System. We're going to be installing this today. This is what it comes with. You've got the catch can, you've got two hoses, you've got a bracket mount that's going to hold it all together.
These are milled out of T6061 billet aluminum, Dave. Now, compared to traditional catch cans that are side by side, this is actually a top and bottom single chamber unit. What it does is it allows for the oil to totally pass through the filter, going down into the chamber and allowing all the clean air to enter back into the actual clean air line into the intake. So it prevents you from getting any of that dreaded blue smoke that you get whenever you're off-roading and you're into like a vertical incline. That's typically when the positive crankcase pressure of your rig is going to want to push this oil back into your intake, and that's when we get that blue smoke. So that's what this is actually going to help us prevent today on Valkyrie.
Especially like you said, when you get on steep inclines. So we're going to go ahead and get this installed. This is going to take care of our problem, and we'll show you how it's done.
In the typical installation on the JLs, what we're going to do is, first thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and remove both of these bolts that are on top of the upper engine cover. Once we have this removed that we can access the actual intake plenum, we're going to go ahead and remove our brittle plastic lines, which have the tendency of failing over time. We're going to go ahead and replace those with the highest quality Continental lines possible that come provided in the UPR kit. And we're going to go ahead and mount our UPR catch can with our rounded billet adapter right here to this pre-existing notch that's actually on your intake manifold. So first thing we're going to go ahead and do, now that we've got the engine cover removed, we're going to go ahead and pull our line that runs off of the PCV valve off. We're going to remove this one carefully. And then all the way in the back of the Jeep, you are going to have to get involved in there. Behind the passenger side is the other part of the hose. After slowly manipulating it, you should be able to get the hose out completely in one piece. I'm going to go ahead and get this mounted. Slide it in right through the pre-drilled hole that's on your intake manifold. We'll go ahead and thread it down momentarily. And what we're going to do is we'll go ahead and get our Allen wrench and just give it a little bit of a snugging. Okay. Now you want to leave it so where it's not entirely tight, because we are going to have to maneuver it a little bit. But now that we've got that done, let's go ahead and introduce our oil catch can. Oil catch can is going to go mounted just like that. So the same thing, we're going to get our other pre-provided hardware. We're going to go ahead and add a little bit of red Loctite to it. Same reason, we don't want any of this to come loose when we're out on the trail. We'll go ahead and set it up right onto the bracket. And the same thing, we'll leave it just slightly loose so that we can go ahead and manipulate it into the right position that we want it to sit before we go ahead and snug everything down. Now, once we've got the actual catch can on there, then we can go ahead and set up the lines. So what we're going to do now is, now that we've got our catch can preset up and it's not tight so it's still movable, we're going to go ahead and set up our lines. Now the kit comes with two lines. The short line is going to go from the PCV valve right to the bottom of the catch can. So that's what we're going to go ahead and set up now. Now we're going to slide these just like this right onto that. Then we're going to come right around here, and with the pre-supplied lines, we're going to go ahead and just clip right onto the bottom of the PCV valve, just like that. Now,
I just heard it click, so that means it's in?
Once it clicks is when you hear it going correct. And the long line goes under your throttle body. That's why it's provided as a long line. It's going to go under your throttle body. And it's going to come out on the opposite side, and that's going to connect to the port that's just behind your actual throttle body. Same thing, it's a push-in connector. Now that we've got it set, we're going to go ahead and just give it just one little snugging. We can go ahead and set up how we want this to actually sit. Start off with your bottom screw. Now it's a little difficult, so you do want to just go slowly and tighten it. Once you have your bottom screw set, then you go to the top one, tighten that one, and that's it. It's that simple. The last part of the project is we're going to go ahead and put the upper engine cover back onto the Jeep, which is probably the easiest part of the whole process. So let's go ahead and put this thing on and get on the trails. The installation is going to be the exact opposite of the way you pulled it out. Just make sure you line up the two tabs on the back of the cover. Slide the cover in. And in here we'll get our electric persuader. And that's it. Installation complete. Now that we've gone ahead and finished, we've got our catch can on, we've got our dirty line, we've got our clean line, everything's connected, everything's been finely tightened. Now the last thing we have left to do is just go ahead and turn her on. Now, what you'll notice with this product is, you'll be able to capture in this container any of the excess oil that would normally have been going into your intake when you're in an off-road vertical situation. Over the last few rides, we were out in Georgia.
All right, we're in the shop today. We've got Valkyrie, our 2018 GA.
I think what I'm gonna say.
Need a beat?
As you've noticed, hey everybody, how you doing? This is Brian at Off-Grid Adventure Concepts.
Take 3. Fix that today. We have our billet. What do we call it? That's our billet. It's our.
Okay.